Summer update is coming this weekend, but here's the thing, a lot of people have missed tons of hidden details in the teaser pictures. Now today I'm diving into the 5 things you probably didn't notice in the teaser, including new features, secret details, and maybe a new fire department station. All of those could completely change the game. So let's start with something subtle but actually pretty huge, which is the new emergency lighting system for police vehicles. So we're gonna take the teaser image. You can see this right here. There's a lot to talk about in this picture already, and I'm starting off with the first thing, which is the car interiors. If you don't know it already, it's gonna be in a few vehicles, but which ones I will be talking about a little bit later. Now this is the car we're gonna talk about. You can see the visors lights right here, and now I'm gonna take something and you're gonna think, well, there is a small difference. And yes, of course, a big difference is the fact that the visors lights are now in the car instead of outside the cars, which looks way more realistic. Now for this I need to customize the vehicle. I need to open up vehicle accessories, and then I'm gonna click on visors lights. Now exit the garage, gonna spawn the car. Now once I turn it off, you guys can see that we have 3 blocks right here. And now yes, the big difference is that right here we're getting 4 blocks, which means that we're getting some new updated visors lights, and I think this is actually pretty epic. It will probably look more realistic, especially at night, and it's a small change, but for role players and realism fans, this is a chef's kiss. It's a small mwah. Now next up we got another thing that is completely changed. Just once again at the first picture, but once again it's not easy to tell. It was pretty hard to see, and a few people noticed it, and once I saw it I was, well, he's completely right. So this was the exact spot where we got the first picture teaser. We got the 80 kilometers per hour instead of 55 miles per hour, which I guess is now a pretty cool thing actually, that you can now change your sign in your server to whatever region you are in. Are you in European, in Asia, in Australia, whatever, it will most likely be able to change. Now it could be that for this update only, it will be that you can only, like, let's just say you can only change it to European, and maybe towards the future you can go in Asian or whatever style you can get into, because they said we will look at expanding this to as many regions as possible. So I think they're not gonna be changing this to a lot already, still have to wait for that. Now here's the cool part. If you guys already saw it, we've got this right here, but if you look into the back, you guys can see the fire department. Now the perspective of this picture looks a lot more different, which makes it hard to tell if there was like map changes. Some people were saying that, but I will be talking about that later. You guys can see this right here. You probably think, well, it's the exact same, right? I mean, just look at it. There's no difference. There is. It's a very small one, but it is, because these pillars right here are white, but in the picture they are brown, which means that we're most likely going to be getting a fire department station revamp, maybe a full station rework. We could be looking at some new layouts, some new interiors, and maybe because we're getting new firefighting equipment, this would really be a logic option. Now I'm not saying that the whole fire station will be changed and we will be getting a new one. I feel like that is still a little bit too early, because as you guys see, we haven't really got anything big of a difference, but it could really be that inside of the fire department station, something big will be happening. Alright, now let's talk cars. And there's some good news and mad news. So yes, we're going to be getting the Rimac Navara. It's a pretty weird name of a car, but it is this one right here. And we also got a new car, the Dodge Daytona. Now these cars look incredible, especially the Daytona with its rear wing, absolutely insane. I love the spoiler. But according to some people, they think that these cars are going to be standard. And in the previous picture we said, okay, we can finally add spoilers to cars and we can finally customize, add stickers. I feel like this may be a standard car that you can buy with all the options already in it, which means that you cannot customize the stickers, you cannot really customize anything except, and here's where the fun part of course comes, you can change the spoilers, you can change the colors. I guess you can even change the rims right here, and you can change the color of probably the spoiler, I guess, I hope. But it's just a lot more customization, but not actually adding parts to the cars. Which, I mean, if that would be happening, then we're looking at some type of jailbreak things, and this game is not really made for crazy fast cars and spoilers and just unrealistic stuff. And I guess that's why we can only just customize and add more colors and change the rims, but I feel like that's it. Maybe I could be 100% wrong, but I feel like this is more like a reasonable thing. I mean, just imagine we're getting a spoiler on top of this car. It would be pretty unrealistic, right? Let's be honest. So while they look absolutely fire, they're more show than go in terms of customization. It may be a little bit disappointing because some people were thinking we're gonna get insane customization, civilian liveries, but I honestly also said that, so I'm completely wrong. Now this one's a tiny detail, but it says a very lot. Because if we're going to look at the first picture, we can see this right here, a leg holster. That's not it, because if you zoom in a little bit, you can see that this holster can now hold a taser in it, and this is where it gets very interesting in my opinion, because now that means that you will have much more customization. Some people are saying that this ear plug is also going to be more of a customization, but I don't really know about that. I feel like that also isn't the biggest thing. I feel like leg holster and the customization that is now able to do is pretty epic, since a lot of people really liked the belt customization. Some people may find it unnecessary, but I feel like it's pretty fine. And we're already at number 5, which is that people are saying that we're going to get map changes. And I'm talking about this not because it's going to be happening, but the other way around. It's not going to be happening. And why? Well, because as I've already talked about it, the perspective of these pictures were made pretty weird. And some people are saying, yeah, we're getting the mountain looks closer, or we're getting some new streets, the street hair is gone. That's all not true. So only thing we can see is those new signs, which means that we're kind of in an European environment, which I feel like is very cool, but I feel like that's currently it. No real map expansion, no real map updates. It's just gonna be that. It could still be that they're going to add some like subtle, small map changes, but it's not gonna be great. Same with the courthouse. I feel like that's not gonna be for this update. And this update will be including a fire department update, the car interiors, and those are kind of the main things that we will see in this update. Now about the second part, or if there will be a second part, we don't even know yet. I hope you will be seeing some other cool stuff that people have been requesting, and maybe a courthouse. I don't know, I feel like maybe it's too early, maybe we don't need it yet, but if you want to know more information about that, then make sure to watch the video in the top right corner. Now, I guess that's it for today, so I'm gonna quickly recap. First up, we're going to get new ERLC Lightning with, instead of these 3 things, you get 4 things, which means that maybe those who made custom ERLC will need to change a lot, I don't know, and you need to remodel every single thing, but that's not the biggest deal, right? Never made a custom ERLC, so I cannot really say anything about that. But nevertheless, we're also going to get a fire department remodel, some new cars with limited upgrades, but there are a few upgrades, a leg holster with taser placement, and of course the new signs. So let me know in the comments which details surprised you the most. And I hope this update will be pretty fire. I hope literally a little bit fire department in there. Now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.